Hello everyone, in this tutorial we're going to be going over how to perform a sparring style rear leg roundhouse kick in Taekwondo. Before attempting this kick, I do recommend you warm up and loosen to help prevent injury. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So before I even start the kick, I need to make sure I'm standing correctly, so start in a very clear fighting stance. The more your hips and shoulders are forward, the easier it is going to be to perform the first step. But it is possible to perform it from a more defensive fighting stance with my body turned to the side. I'm going to show you with my shoulders and hips a little more forward. Whenever you're first learning, this will make the kick a little easier. So step number one for the sparring roundhouse kick is to raise your knee up. You don't want to swing or cut the angle too early because that indicates to your opponent that you're already doing a roundhouse kick. So the benefit to raising your knee straight up is to help you get a higher kick so you don't hit the hip. And then also you can change that into any kick. So step one, raise your knee up. Pay attention to my foot position. In Taekwondo, we're going to be pointing our foot and we're going to be striking with the instep, which is the top portion of our foot. Make sure you do not strike with the toes or the lower part of your shin. We want to be striking with the instep. So practice that a couple times. Just raise your knee up. And then notice my standing foot, it's going to pivot slightly whenever I raise that knee up. That will allow me to open my hip up a little more and get my chamber a little higher. So step one, knee up. At the same time I do step one, I'm going to pull my hands in. My hands come in during step number one. Step number two is going to be the pivot on my standing foot. Make sure you pivot on the ball of your foot. That's going to make it easier to pivot. And for the pivot, you only have to pivot around 45 to 90 degrees. So it's not a full pivot like in a pumse style or a full roundhouse kick. This is to help you have a faster kick because sparring is a lot about speed. So a partial pivot will help you have more speed in your kick. So step number one, knee up. Step number two is going to be pivot, just like that. So one, up, two, pivot. From here, step number three is going to be kick. I want to fully extend my leg out and then make sure I'm striking with the top of my foot so my foot's pointed. Step number four is going to be pull back. And then step number five is going to be down. So let's go through all of those steps again. Step number one, knee up. My standing foot will slightly pivot. Step number two, rotate the hip and shoulder over slightly. Pivot the standing foot a little more. Pivot. Three, kick. Four, pull back. And then five will be set it down. So let's talk about steps 4 and 5 real quick. So we just kicked in step 3. Step number 4 is the retraction. So for more speed, you can drop it. But for good practice, we do practice a full snap. One of the downsides of just immediately dropping it is it might get caught on your opponent. So we want to pull the leg back. That will sacrifice a little bit of speed and then set it down there. Okay, we recommend trying to get the most retraction possible whenever performing a sparring style roundhouse kick. Don't just kick and then drop it down immediately like that. Also, step number 5, which is the recovery, after you perform the kick, there's 3 ways you can set your leg down. So I kick my opponent. I can set my leg down in front. This is good if you want to kick with that same leg again. If you don't do that, if you're doing some other technique like the other leg, you're trying to alternate, you're probably going to jam yourself. So only set your leg down in front if you're trying to go to the clinch position or you're trying to follow up with that same leg. The second way you can land out of a sparring style roundhouse kick is bringing your feet together or coming back to a parallel stance. This is good if you want to alternate to the other side to do another sparring roundhouse kick with the other leg. So one way you can set it down in front for speed, or if you want to kick with that same leg again. The second way you can set it down is bring your feet together so I can follow up quickly with the other leg. And the last way you can bring it back is return to your original fighting position. So this is a really good way to defend yourself. So I kick and return to my fighting stance just like that. The downside to that one is it's going to be the slowest. So watch all 3 ways again. I kick. On the recovery, I set it down. That's going to be the fastest, but I'm going to jam myself if I try to alternate. It's good if you want to kick with that same leg again. Recovery number 2, bring your feet together. That's going to be medium speed. That's going to be good if you want to alternate to the other leg, making a combo. And the last way is to return to your original fighting stance. It's difficult to follow up with the other leg, the kicking leg or the other leg. So this is good just to return, doing a single kick for that. Let's go ahead and talk about a couple tips to help you make sure your sparring roundhouse kick is as powerful and as quick as it can be. So as I said at the beginning, make sure those hips and shoulders are more forward. That will make the initial chamber a little easier. And then load your legs slightly. We want to sort of pop off the ground a little bit and move toward our target to give us a little more speed. And then depending on what you want to do next, make sure you determine how you want to recover. For now, I'm just going to set it down in front. All right, so load the legs, kick, and set it down. Be explosive, be intense when you're practicing it, not just like this, lazy style. All right? Get a workout from practicing this kick. And then the next step, you can add in your bouncing. Make sure you don't bounce too high because it's difficult to initiate the kick when you're on the up part of your bounce. So I'm going to have a bounce, but I'm not bouncing too high. Knee up, turn, kick, pull back down. All right? And one more way you can make your sparring style roundhouse kick even faster is to use your arm as a counterweight. So whenever I'm kicking, whichever leg you're kicking with, I want to actually drop my arm that matches that leg to the same side, just like this. So I'm kicking, think of a down block. It's a counterweight. So I'm throwing my weight out here, my arm's going to go down the other way. That will help give you just a little bit more power and speed on your kick. All right, so I drop the arm. Notice where my other arm comes up, goes to protect my body here. All right, I kick, this arm drops down. My right arm drops down, smashes down into a down block position. So watch the full roundhouse kick. I'm going to put all that technique together and go as fast as I can. Just like that. And that's how you perform a rear leg sparring style roundhouse kick in Taekwondo. If you have any suggestions for what we should do a tutorial on next, be sure to leave them in the comments down below. This is Champions Taekwondo Academy. Thanks for watching.